Dallas Bertans, the Latvian laser. I'm doing this thing where I spread propaganda about every single player on the Dallas Mavericks roster, and now it's Mr. Bertans' turn. And I'm pretty excited to talk about him. Well, I'm definitely interested to talk about him, okay? When the Dallas Mavericks traded to the Wizards, all right, for Spencer Dinwiddie and Dallas Bertans, I was admittedly a little bit disappointed to see Bertans' inclusion in the trade. Getting Spencer Dinwiddie back is insane. And Davis Bertans. I don't think I like that trade at all. Holy shit. I got what I asked for, and I don't think I like it. What is Davis Bertans' contract is a literal fucking shit fest. It's actually a terrible fucking contract. Oh my God, I'm falling down to my knees. And while I wouldn't say that he proved me wrong, I wouldn't say that he stuck it to me, I definitely have changed my opinion on him just a tiny bit. Let's just address the elephant in the room, all right? Bertans' contract, it's horrible, right? It's a complete total albatross. It's disgusting. It's one of the most horrendous non-max contracts in the entire NBA. If you look up any worst contracts in the NBA, article, ranking, post, video, whatever the case may be, Bertans is either right at the top or right around it. But the thing is it's like, okay, the Mavericks didn't pay him. He's already been paid. This is the money that he makes. It's time to just accept it, guys. Whenever we talk about what Bertans can do on the basketball court to help the Dallas Mavericks win games, there's no point in talking about his contract. His money's not out there playing. And it's also important to remember, there's a reason Bertans got the bag that he got. It seemed ridiculous at the time, but he had a pretty robust market. There's a reason for that. This guy's not some career-long scrub. All right, the Washington Wizards didn't see him walking in the hallways one day and said, dude, hey, you look tall. Here, take our money. It's not as simple as that. But you want to know what is simple? Liking, subscribing, and sharing the video. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I post propaganda almost daily, and you don't want to miss out. Liking the video, commenting, sharing the video. It all helps tremendously. Oh, also, I go live every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. You don't want to miss out. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're here. First thing is first, I need you guys to look at this graphic. And this graphic, it might shock you. This graphic might alarm you. These are Bertans' on-off splits with the Dallas Mavericks this past season. That's what you're looking at. Yes, the Mavericks were 15 points per 100 possessions better when Bertans was on the floor. I think that grades out to be like a 72 win pace over the course of a whole season. Granted, this was over a span of like 200 minutes. And, I know, small sample size. You guys know how I feel about small sample sizes. I think sometimes we should take them into account, actually. In this case, at least, I think it's important to know that this is a small sample size that we're talking about here. Obviously, these aren't numbers that we should expect over the course of a full season. I mean, we are talking like a 72 win pace when Bertans is on the floor. But here's the thing. Every single team that Bertans has been on in his career has performed better when he was on the floor, with the exception of the Spurs in his rookie season and the Washington Wizards last year, which I'm just going to be real. It was a complete and total fucking disaster over there. Career lows across the board for Bertans in pretty much every single statistical category, right? He was getting DNPs at certain points before the Wizards decided, hey, you know what we should do? We should trade for That's really going to open things up for us. But I want you to look at these charts right here. These four graphs. All right, what you're looking at is the career averages for Bertans' three-point shooting, above the break three-point shooting, which is the type of three Bertans shoots the most by far, catch and shoot three-point shooting, and three-point shooting talent. Tell me, you notice anything? Huh? You notice these little dots? I don't even know if I'm pointing in the right direction. You guys notice these? This was such a down year for Bertans shooting-wise. It's hard not to think it's an anomaly. It's hard to think that this is who he is now. He just forgot how to shoot. Some unlucky shooting variants made worse by the fact that he was playing on a dysfunctional team, starting somebody at point guard who has no business starting at point guard. He's scoring guard mainly. Love you, Spence. So it's no surprise that Bertans' catch and shoot three-point shooting numbers propped up from 31% in Washington last year to 37% in Dallas after the trade. Now, 37%, that's still below his career averages. That's not a great number for somebody who's paid for the sole purpose to shoot, but it is an improvement. You know, I like that I can just reference my own tweets here, and you guys will never know if I'm lying to you. I could just tweet anything and put it on here, and it'll look official. You guys will never fucking know, huh? Don't get me wrong, $17 million is a lot to pay a guy like Bertans, but if he sees a regression to the mean shooting-wise, he's going to rebuild his value to the point where he becomes like a legitimate, valuable piece on a Dallas Mavericks team that's trying to contend for a title. Not only that, but he might be a valuable piece to somebody on the trade market, and that really is the goal for the Mavericks. I mean, that was the whole point of trade. Let's trade this horrible dog shit contract for this 7-3 shooting guard to two smaller, easier to move contracts. And if Bertans comes out this next season and performs, that contract becomes way easier to trade. Here's a random stat that just popped into my head, okay? Since 2016, that's a lot of years in NBA years, trust me. There have only been 2 players in the entire NBA to finish in the 90th percentile or better in three-point shooting, while also finishing in the first percentile or worse in three-point shot quality. 2020, 2021, Steph Curry, and 2019, 2020, Davis Bertans, baby. That's right. Am I saying that Davis Bertans can be like Steph Curry for the Dallas Mavericks? No, of course not. They don't need him to be. But am I saying he can be like Ray Allen? I'm not saying that is some crazy impossibility. Bertans won't have a shooting season like that again. He's just not going to get the opportunity in this Dallas team. But it's important to remember that is why he got paid. And as the 10th or 11th guy in the Mavericks rotation, someone who's going to maybe get 10 to 15 minutes in a playoff game, depending on the matchup, his ability to swing the momentum of a game with a couple of threes, that's huge. That's huge to have for a 10th or 11th guy off your bench. That's why the Mavericks went 8-1 when Bertans hit 2 or more threes, and 2-0 in the playoffs when he hit 4 or more. These are massive shots and huge momentum swings in a game sparked by a guy who's only getting 12 minutes. Take this sequence against the Jazz in Game 3 on the road. Mavericks really need this win. Take this sequence, for example, okay? The Mavs are up by 11 with a minute left in the half. That's a pretty decent margin, right? But that's not a huge blowout by any stretch of the imagination. In today's NBA, that's basically a 5-point lead. Bertans proceeds to knock down 2 threes in the span of 30 seconds, and the Mavs go into the locker room up 17. That's a completely different feel to the game. So yes, Bertans is a sniper, and if things go right for him this season, he can be the best sniper in Dallas since 1963. Now, oh, come on. The issue is he's a sniper and a sniper only. You know, there's a real zag opportunity here, and I have seen people say this where it's like, well, Davis Bertans being a one-trick pony is actually a good thing because if he's not making his shots, you can just take him out of the game. You don't have to worry about missing his defense or anything because you know if he's not making his shots, there's no reason for him to be out there, which is an interesting zag. I respect it. I really do. But we are talking about an NBA player here. There are things that Davis Bertans does well outside of shooting. He's a smart offensive player, right? He makes pretty good cuts. It's not something he does all the time, but the ability is there. You watch him, sometimes he'll have a really smart backdoor cut, and he'll fill up gaps where the defense isn't looking. He's also like athletic. Bertans is a pretty sneaky athletic dude, and I'm not just saying that because he's white. I'm saying that because you wouldn't think he's athletic, but he is, man. He's fast. He's got some hops. He also likes to leak out in transition. The Mavericks ran in transition 4% more when Bertans was on the floor, and that's, you know, I know small sample size, but that's a trend that's followed him throughout his entire career. Every team he's played on has ran more in transition when he's out there, and he's not afraid to pull up from the fucking logo in transition. You know, these are some of those shots where you're like, oh my God, what is this? Oh my God, it went in. Nice. And this is a good thing because I've been watching Eurobasket. I've been watching Luka Doncic with Slovenia this summer. Every time I watch them play, I just think, God, the Mavericks need to run more. They need to get out and transition more. They have the slowest pace in the NBA, but I watch Slovenia, and they are just full speed sprinting up and down the court every single time on offense. And Luke is hitting them with outlet passes. The Mavericks need to run more. So having guys like this, Bertans, who's pretty good in transition, Josh Green, who I've already talked about, go check that video out. He's pretty good in transition too. Mavericks just need to do it more, okay? I don't know what's stopping them. I really don't. Outside of what he brings to the table offensively, you know, defense is the issue. That's always been the issue with Bertans. But, you know, here's the thing, man. I'm just going to come out and say it. He's not good defensively. All right, we don't need to beat around the bush. He's just not a good defender. But he does hustle, and he does try. Now here's the thing, right? Anytime somebody's explaining a player to me and they say, well, he hustles, and his effort's really good, that's just a nice way of saying this guy sucks. And that's basically what I am doing with Bertans when it comes to defense. And his hustle and his effort, it can lead to positive things. The Mavs defense was 11.8 points per 100 possessions better when he was on the floor. That's just such a small sample size. I can't even use that one in good faith. As much as I want to, I can't even use that one. But every single time Bertans has played with a top 10 defense, which has been 3 times in his career, twice in San Antonio, once with the Mavericks, he's graded out as a net positive defender. You put a guy who can hustle and try on defense around other good defenders, and good things will probably happen. You put him around guys who don't give a shit about defense, and bad things will probably happen. Do I expect massive things from Bertans this upcoming season? No, I don't expect massive things, but the Mavericks don't need massive things from him. They just need him to be okay as the 10th or 11th guy. That's it.